We're so close to done. Are you ready for more? Hi everyone, Cristin here, and we are getting close to the end of our Falling for Autumn quilt. So yesterday we did our inner borders, and oh my gosh, with all the signs on there, the little signs and all our little special embellishments that we did, our special personalizations. I love this quilt. I really love this one. This is so much fun. Oh, that banner. I love the pennant. It's called the pennant. I love it. So much fun. This has been a really fun project. So today we're going to work on our outer borders. All right, so grab your packet if you made packets. And the outer borders are on page 56 of our book. And you can see I have not cut my batting yet, so I'll need to make sure to do that. I'll make sure to remind you to do that too. All right, so our outer borders is this light tan with flowers on it fabric. Isn't that so pretty? I love this. It's so delicate and sweet. I really like this one. I'm very excited about it. All right, so on this, we want 4 strips. I did back mine with fusible stabilizer. That's optional, but it's nice because then it won't have any puckering or bubbling or anything standing up out of the wrong place or anything like that. So we want 4 strips that are 4.5 inches times width of fabric. So all of that long fabric, do 4 strips, 4.5 inches wide times width of fabric. All right, that's what we want for our outer border strips. Okay. And then we need our batting. So one thing is I need to point out, you have to measure your quilt. It's very important to measure your quilt to determine how much quilting that you need. Mine measures exactly 32 by 32, so that should give you a rough idea, but still measure your quilt just in case it's a little bit different. All right, and then for our batting, let's see, so we need our batting. I actually didn't write down what we'll need, but if our strips are going to be 32 inches for the first 2, so we'll want 31.5 inches of batting for the first 2, and then for the second 2, we're going to add 8 inches. Yep, 4, so 8 inches plus the almost 32. What did I say? It was 31.5, so 39.5 inches. All right, quick math. All right, 39.5 inches of your batting for the second 2 strips. So the first 2, 31.5, and the second 2, 30. What did I say? 39.5. I can do that. All right, so that's what we're going to need for our batting. Now our quilting on this is going to be Border Autumn 2. It comes in our Falling for Autumn bundle of quilting designs. So there's I think 1 through 6 inches I saw. So we want the 4-inch one for this, all right? Because obviously our strips are the 4.5 inches because of that seam allowance. We want a quilting design that is 4 inches times width of 4 inches times your hoop size. So depending on your hoop size, and I'm going to bring you over to the computer to show you what will work. I'll show you each of the designs so that you can start figuring out math on which one will work for you. And I'll tell you what I'm going to use. I'm going to try and get 2-in-1 hooping. There will be several hoopings because if the longest one, I believe the longest one was 14 inches and it's not really 14 inches. So either way, I think we're going to have 3 hoopings of each of the 2 strips. So if you're doing them individually, you'll have even more. If you I think that's the biggest because 14 inches is the biggest size. So we'll talk all about that. I'm going to bring you over to the computer and show you, but we're going to go ahead and get started on our outer border strips, and then all we have is the backing, the binding, the embellishments, and something a little special, which I haven't even started on. Hey everyone, so I'm at my computer and I'm just going to quickly show you the different size options for our quilting design and how to get 2 together in 1 hooping if you choose. So I'm going to open up Embrilliance Essentials. Oh, there's the design I made last night. I always open it in Embrilliance first and send it to my machine, and it makes it so that I can quickly see the steps. So I'm going to close this. Let me just X out of here, Don't need to save those changes. File, new page. All right, and it shows that I'm on my 9x9 hoop. I actually would rather probably use my 9x14 hoop, I'm thinking. So I'm going to go ahead and make that change now, and we'll adjust as needed. So I'm going to go to this preferences folder, and I'm going to click on my 9x14 hoop, say OK, and then click on this compass button and click H for hoop. All right, and I'm going to move this over to the side here. Okay, so you can see down here at the bottom it says I'm on my 9x14 hoop now. So I'm going to go ahead and start by bringing in the quilting design. So I'm going to go to merge stitch file. You can either open the folder and pull it over, drag it over to your workspace, or open it from this merge stitch file button. Either way works fine. All right, and then let's see, here's the quilting bundle, and I want the border. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm on Cuties because I was working on Cuties. My mistake. Falling for Autumn. All right, and then there is my quilting bundle, and there's the border. Right there, embroidery files, Pez is what I use for my machine, and then it will populate with the designs. Now there's the ones that we used for our inner border, so we're going to scroll down to the 4-inch. Isn't that pretty? Oh my gosh, that's so pretty. How fun. All right, so I'm going to quickly open up each of them. Those are 3. Here's the 4. So the first one is the 4x10. I'll double click on that. It goes to the center. That is just so darn cute. It's got the squirrel from our quilting and a book and the cocoa or coffee from our quilt as well. And the sweater. Oh my goodness, this is so cute. Very fun. All right, so sorry. Click on the design and you can tell from clicking on it what size that design is. So the selected item is 4.5 times 9 7/16. So almost 9.5, a little bit less than 9.5. All right, so we'll have to keep that in mind. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to move this over here for now. All right, and then I'm going to open up the next one. So merge stitch file, go back to that folder we were in and go down to the 4s. 4 inches. There's the 4x12. Double click on that. It goes to the center. I'm just going to click on it and move it over so we can see it a little better. And it says that that one is 4.5 times 11 3/4. Okay, so we're just getting information on the sizing right now so that we can determine, because I know I want 32 inches of quilting on my first 2 strips and I want 40 inches of quilting on my second 2 strips. So if I were to do, I have to think about the math now. So if I were to do 4 of the 10, it would be too short because this isn't fully 10. It's less than 9.5. So that's not going to work for me really on either of these, I think. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this one. I can bring it up again if I think I need it. So this 11 3/4, if I were to do that one for my 32 inches, 11.75 times 3 would give me 35 inches. So that would work. It would be, I would get about 4 inches extra of quilting on this one, which is fine. It would just run off into what is it called? Sorry, the stabilizer. Think, Cristin. It would run off onto the stabilizer, and it's not going to matter because we're going to have our batting the right size. So that one could work for the 32 inch. Let's open up the 14 inch so that we can see on that one too. So while I'm here, I most likely will not use the 7 inch, but I'm going to open that up for those that have the biggest hoop is the 5x7. You'll be doing several hoopings using this one, and that will work fine. And that one is exactly 7 inches, 4.5 times 7 inches. So it will be easy to figure out how much you need for that one. So if you take 32 and divide it by 7, you would do 4.5 hoopings. So you would do 5 hoopings to get the smaller of the 2 strips. All right, so that would work for sure. And those of you that like if you wanted to do a couple of the 14s and then do a 7, which I might have to figure out the math on it, then that 7 inch is an option as well. All right, so let's see. I'm going to open up, I'm going to go to merge stitch file, and I'm going to open up the 14 inch just to see what size that is. The 4x14 right there. All right, click on that. All right, and that one is 4.5 times 14 exactly. All right, so that works out well. So 32 divided by 14, obviously 2 and more. So either way we would have to do, or no, 14, 14, 28. So either way we would have to do 3 hoopings. So you could do 2 of those and 1 of the 7, but you're going to have roughly 5 inches of extra stitching, which is what we would have on the 12 inch as well. So either way, that will work out fine. I'm going to figure out math-wise what I want to do, and I'll be right back to you. Hold on. Okay, so I've done the math on it, and I know what I'm going to do, and I'm just going to share that in case it works for you as well. So for the shorter 2 strips, I'm going to do 3 hoopings of the 11.75, which is the 12-inch design. So that 12-inch design, I believe it's this one. Yep, so that one, I will do 3 hoopings of that, and I'll come out with a total of 35.25, and I need 32 inches, so the extra 3 inches will just run off onto the stabilizer. So that will work great for the 2 shorter strips. For the 2 longer strips, I am going to do 3 hoopings of the 14-inch, which will total out to 42 inches, and I need 40 inches of quilting. So the 2 extra inches will run off onto the stabilizer. So that's my plan. Like I said, so we're going to have 6 hoopings, and that is with doing 2 together. And so for those of you that are going to do them individually, you'll have at least twice as many hoopings. So decide what works for you, do the math on the different size options that I gave you, and then decide which works for you. So like I said, I'm going to do the 12-inch and the 14-inch. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go to File, New Page. I'm going to make 2 of them. I'm going to, let's see here. I'm just going to click on both of these. Control C to copy, and I'm going to put them in here. So I have 2 tabs. All right, so I went to File, New Page, and I created 2 tabs. So I'm going to take this one and I'm going to delete it. And I'm going to do 2 of these 12 inches. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to move this over to the very edge, making sure not to go over the hoop size. The hoop is the yellow part, so make sure not to go over that. All right, and then before I do a copy and paste, I need to change out these colors. So we don't need this step 1 and step 2. You can go ahead and click and drag over and delete those 2, because we're going to add the batting on. If you're going to use the same technique that I am, you will not need these. I'm going to leave them in just to make sure to tell everyone to bypass them, because otherwise I'll forget and you'll be like, hey, wait a minute, why does she only have 3 steps and I have 5? So I'm going to go ahead and leave that in just to help remember to tell everyone to bypass that. But like I said, you can delete those if you're going to add the batting onto the strips like I'm going to. All right, and then you don't need to change any of the colors because you have a blue, a light orange, and a turquoise, so you're all good. For me, I have 2 of these blues, so I'm just going to change the first color of this first one that you're not going to even need. So I'm going to change that to dark aqua, and then none of the others will have a problem with joining. All right, so that's done. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the design. You don't have to drag up like I did. You can just click on the top part. And I'm going to say Control C to copy and then Control V to paste it. And you can see it's right on top of that first one. So I'm going to use my arrow keys and just move it over. And I'm in my 9x14 hoop. And yet for this one, do I need that big? Let's see. I want 9 inches total. So I do, because my other option would be a 9x9 and that wouldn't be long enough. I want it wide enough that I can fit 2 of these strips. And even then it will be tight. You can see I have like almost no room between. And this is with the 4.5 inches and my fabric is 4.5 inches. So it should fit just right, like just barely, just right. All right, so that one is actually done. I'm going to do a color sort because I have 10 color steps right now and I would like to reduce that obviously. So my thread color will be, everything's going to join. So I'm going to go to Utility, Color Sort, and make sure to have these same settings that I have, especially the tolerance at 0 so that you get the same results that I have. And now it says the design page has been reduced by 5 color changes. So I'm going to click New View, quickly look through. There's my placement for my batting, tack down for batting, placement for the main fabric strips, and tack down for the strips, and then the quilting design. That is so darn cute, so cute. All right, and don't forget, you don't need those first 2 steps, but I'm going to keep them. All right, so that one is done. My machine's not on, or I would send it. I'll turn it on in just a minute. First, I'm going to do the 14-inch strips. So I'm going to click this 12-inch and click delete. And then I want to just change that one color like I showed just earlier, because you won't need to do that, but I need to do it to make sure that those don't join. All right, and then like I said, you can delete steps 1 and step 2, but we'll only need the 3, 4, and 5. So just a reminder, placement and tack down of the batting, and we're adding the batting onto the strips. That's why we don't need that. And then we have the placement and the tack down of the strips, and then the quilting design. Those we do need. All right, so that's done. I'm going to go ahead and click on that and say Control C to copy and Control V like victory to paste. And I'm going to use my arrow keys to move it over. And this one will just fit into my 14-inch hoop. The design itself is 14 inches, so that is going to be very tight. All right, that's great. Again, I have those 10 color steps, so I'm going to quickly do a color sort, utility color sort, and have these same steps that I have, and it's reduced it by 5 color changes, new view. Notice it opens a new tab whenever it does that. So I'm going to open up this design just to check it, placement of the batting, tack down of the batting, placement of the strips, tack down of the strips, and the quilting design. So those are great. Those were easy. That was super easy to do, very quick, just a little bit of math, but other than that, it's all good. So I'm going to send these to my machine. If you don't have that option, you can transfer it to a USB stick and bring it over to your machine. Hold on one sec. I haven't saved it. I need to save it too, but I'm going to turn my machine on real quick. All right, don't forget to save it just in case you were to ever do this project again, or just to have it on hand. So I'm going to do a file, save stitch file as, and I'm going to go back to the quilting bundle that I have. So Falling for Autumn, and I believe this is the bundle. Yep, there's the borders, embroidery files, Pez. All right, and I'm going to name this 4 inches times 14 border times 2, because there's 2 strips in there. All right, and that's the one that is all down to one design. Make sure you're saving the one that is one design. So here's my one design of the 12-inch. Again, I'm going to do a file, save stitch file as, and I'm going to name this 2 or 4. This is also a 4-inch by 12 border times 2. All right, and both of these I will need my 9x14 hoop, but I'll save a little bit of time by doing the shorter version for the 2 shorter strips. All right, and I need to send that to my machine. Now that I've saved it, send to Solaris XP1. File sent to machine, and on this one as well. Utility, send to Solaris. Done. And like I said, you can just transfer it to a USB stick if your machine doesn't do that. All right, did you figure out your math yet? Do you know which designs you're going to use? Let's get stitching. And how are you doing with your goal? Oh boy, I'm doing really good. I'm really proud of myself. I have to tell you, especially now that it's winter and it's cold. And I don't know about you, but when it's really cold, I just want to eat. But I'm doing really, really good and being careful, although Halloween is right around the corner, so there's candy everywhere. But anyway, I am 1.2 pounds from my goal, from my overall goal, my biggest goal. So I'm in my thinnest jeans and I'm loving that feeling and doing really good. I haven't worked out this week much at all. A lot of walks, but not any real hard working out because I've been working on our cuties at the end of the month every month. So that takes up so much time. So I haven't really worked out a lot, but I'm doing really careful with eating really healthy, stopping eating by 9 p.m. at the latest, and drinking a ton of water. I even bought this bottle. I'll add a link for that bottle in case you will find it helpful too. Here's the bottle that I bought. It's this huge long bottle. Like I don't think you'd be able to like go hike with this bottle. It's a huge bottle. But what it does is it gives you time increments of this is how much water you should drink by this time, and I'm following it, and it's really made a big difference. So I'm doing really good on that. Ever since I bought the bottle, I only missed one day where I just could not get all the water in, but all the other days I'm doing really good. And you're in the restroom like all the time, like seriously, which is really good because you're just flushing all of that stuff out of your system. So I found the bottle really helpful. Not, you got to find what works for you, right? But anyway, doing really good at eating healthy, stopping eating at the right time, trying my best to get sleep. This pill, the cancer blocker pill I'm on, just really fights me on that, but I'm really doing good. I'm doing everything that I feel I can do, except I need to be working out more, but I'll be doing that as soon as I get caught up on our projects. So how are you doing with your goal? Tell me. I want to know, did you meet your goal? Because we're almost at the end of this project. So did you meet your goal? Are you close to your goal? Do you feel good about your goal? How are you doing with it? And my shirt today is a brand new one. I actually just made it last night while I was editing other videos. I had my machine running. It is so cute. I found it on Etsy. The design is from Etsy, and it says, "Rise above the storm and you will find the sunshine." Rise above the storm and you will find the sunshine. Isn't that pretty? I love this. It's so pretty. And I added some yellow and brown bling at the very bottom. I think it's just such a pretty design. And the shirt itself, I've had in my drawer for a long time to embroider on, and I finally got time to embroider it. And it's from Amazon. I'll add a link here. It worked great. It's a little bit stretchy so that it made it easy to embroider on. So if you're looking for a shirt to embroider on, this is a really good one. It's got a hood because you know I like hoods. I think they're so cute. But long sleeve, ready for winter, and a really fun sunflower design. So I will add all the information underneath this video.